And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success. I'm your host, Wes Tankersley. Welcome to this first in-studio interview, and it's brought to you by my company, Shade Bros. If you're interested in getting some window coverings, please give us a call at 208-99-SHADE, and we'll get you taken care of here in the Treasure Valley. This is Shaping Success Treasure Valley. I'm doing a separate show just for Treasure Valley business owners and realtors and things like that. Today, I have my friend Rance Portenier in here. He owns a company called Birdies. He also works for Cincy as a recruiter, and we've known each other since college when we took a class and tried to learn how to kick a football. It was pretty cool. Rance, what's happening?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was the first one.
It's the first one.
Okay.
It's the first in-studio one. So
I'm glad you didn't tell me that first.
yeah, now you know. It's, I've been doing this for a long time. I have over 400 episodes. The last year and a half, I've been doing this with my friend Robert Watson, and we're just now in the process of renaming what him and I are doing so that we can do Shaping Success this way. I've interviewed a lot of people from all over the world, but this is really what it started out going to be, where I was going to be interviewing people in our community in the Treasure Valley and Meridian, Boise, Nampa, people who are builders, people who are realtors or business owners, and talk about building something from the ground up. And I had met with you, I don't know, year and a half ago, and had you update my resume for me, which was awesome. You know, I hadn't done a resume in a long time, and you're a recruiter, but then we started talking about what you're doing on the side, and you're always got something going on, I feel like, and you're always introducing me to new people, and I just thought it'd be a great interview to have you in here. So tell us, a little bit about you, like growing up, kind of. I know you're from Parma, right?
Yep.
Out in the boonies. Just a little while, just a little bit over that way.
I was looking at how close my parents' house is. 17 minutes.
Oh, not too bad. Yeah. So you grew up over there. You played some sports.
I did, yeah. So I grew up not just grew up. I'm an only child.
Only child. Okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, it depends on the time, right?
Yeah. In Parma, Idaho, so small city town, I would say, maybe 2,000 people. High school class of 09, I think there are 72 people in my class, 300 in the whole high school. Grew up playing sports, football, basketball, tennis. Was pretty good at them, won some state championships. And then went off to Boise State, which was my dream college, given the football team and everything. And I've been in Boise the longest I've lived anywhere since I was 18 and 34 now. Yeah,
so it's interesting. When I met you, I was in my second stint of college. I think I was, I don't know, I'm 10 years older than you, so I can't remember how long it's been now, but I think you were just out of high school maybe, or a couple years out of high school. And here I am, I feel like old man, because I'm almost 30 and everyone else is 18. But it was fun. We ended up in this class, and I remember I think we were kind of like trying to trick Petronic into doing something, because we had to do something that we couldn't do, like write with your left hand or do something that you've never done before and learn how to do it. And we all played football. Well, you and me both played football, and our other partners played, I think, was soccer, and the other one was, he was a little scrawny guy at one point in his life, and I don't think he played any sports. So I was an offensive lineman, never kicked a football, or if I did, I was terrible. And then I can't remember. What did you do? Why were you qualified to kick the football?
It's funny. So I played quarterback in high school, but I also kicked. I didn't kick correctly, nor was I very good at kicking.
Yeah.
I toe kicked it.
Yeah.
So never played soccer. Obviously everyone plays soccer as a kid, just at recess and stuff. So
yep.
I think that's why you guys thought I was qualified.
It didn't matter. We got a good group, and that's what I loved about our college experience. For me, I was in physical education, so I became a PE teacher, and we were in that class. I think it was motor learning. I don't know why. What were you taking at the time? Because you ended up going into business, didn't you?
No, I stayed in kinesiology. got my bachelor's in kinesiology, and then got my master's in athletic leadership.
Athletic leadership. Okay.
Yep.
So what was your emphasis in kinesiology? What were you planning on doing before you did the athletic leadership thing?
There was a few different routes I was looking at. I didn't really want to go the PE teacher route, just given, what you're paid yearly being a teacher.
Yep.
Thought about physical therapy, personal training. My main goal was to work for a college team, play college football, maybe make it to the NFL, be an NFL scout, maybe a strength and conditioning coach. But my goals change every year, and that kind of changed as I went through the program as well.
And you ended up working for BSU, didn't you? Like, were you doing something for them?
I did, yeah. I worked for Boise State football for 5 years. Started there as an intern, and then worked for the recruiting department, so recruiting athletes to come play for Boise State football. Awesome experience. Met some great people, great coaches. Still in contact with coaches. Kind of learned what that industry was, which I just love learning how things work in different industries. Really thought about what I wanted with my life. Do I want to have hobbies? Want to be able to spend time with my family, future kids? And as a college football coach, doesn't matter what role you're in, and I'm assuming in the NFL, you're married to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of saw that lifestyle, which was good for me to experience. And they paid for my grad school since I worked for them, which grad school was never an option in my mind.
Yeah. Until
it was offered. So, very blessed for that experience. Learned a lot of things. Learned what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is some of the most important learnings.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I tell you what, I when I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to be, I was going to go play football in college, I thought. And I figured I was going to get a scholarship to the Pac-10 at that point. That's how old I am. It was the Pac-10. And I figured that's where I was going, and I ended up not getting a scholarship to play at a big school. I got one at Southern Oregon University, and to me that was like, no, I'm not going. I don't want to. So I took a semester off and then ended up going to U of I and walked on, and then just realized that I was just too damn small. There was like, it's amazing to sit there and be, 280 pounds and be 6'3" and be the smallest center on the team, as a lineman. You're like, the guy goes, oh, you play some tight end, maybe running back? And I'm like, first of all, I can't run.
Yeah.
Second of all, I mean, I might be able to be a tight end, but a blocking one,
Same.
So it's like, you got to figure out what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then I flunked out. And so, but when I flunked out, I was going to be a PE teacher. I wanted to be an athletic trainer, but they said, well, you need to get a PE degree with that too. And then I went back, and getting an athletic training degree, I couldn't get through the math. So I ended up being a PE teacher. And so I learned in 4 years while I was getting my master's degree that I didn't want to be a teacher.
Dang.
As I was teaching, making $38,000 a year.
I think it's funny that we ask 17, 18-year-olds to determine what they want to be.
Right.
In 4 or 5 years as adults. Because, I picked kinesiology because I grew up, my mom was always into health and fitness. We always had a home gym of some sort. Was naturally good at sports. Was player of Idaho, won a state championship. I'm like, well, I'm good at sports. I like working out. Kinesiology seems like the perfect fit.
Right.
But then you start to take the courses and really learn what that actually entails. And you're like, maybe it's not the best fit.
Yeah.
Or your focus changes. So, yeah, not upset that I took that. Learned a lot, met a lot of great people like yourself. And let's say I never would have done kinesiology, we would have never crossed paths maybe.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what's really cool about that whole scenario is the fact that the people that I met, like, I'm still good friends with people that I went to college with. Like, it's funny, the group that we had for the kicking project, like Joe Santa Maria is one of my really good friends. We go golfing and we hang out all the time. Dan Miller, I talk to him quite a bit. He's got a podcast that he's doing. And then it's like, it's crazy because I'm pretty sure one time, and I don't think I even said hi to you in the hallway, but I ran into you when you were working at St. Al's because my wife worked at St. Al's. And so I wasn't certain it was you or something, but you know how it is. Like when you see someone you haven't seen for a long time, you just walk by them and you're just like,
I think that was so-and-so.
I think so, but I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to look like a dummy. But you moved on from BSU to St. Al's. Is that where you went, or was there something in between there?
Yeah. So, leaving an industry that you've been in for 5 years and you think that that's your dream. That's all I wanted to be, was work in college athletics, be a football coach, strength coach. I mean, that's hard to leave. It's not so much hard to leave in the industry, but hard to leave the people that you've met and worked with for 5 years, and, you know, the athletes that I was part of bringing to Boise State and kind of sharing that journey with them. And then getting to the scary corporate life.
Yeah.
And luckily, St. Al's was gave me a chance. I had recruiting experience at obviously a different industry, recruiting athletes, not recruiting nurses or housekeepers, maintenance techs. So I spent 2.5 years with them as a recruiter. And then I was looking for another opportunity, just looking for some different leadership, some more experience in a different sector. Heard great things about Sensi's culture, had a few friends that work there. Actually, my office mate, she worked at St. Alphonsus, and then she went to Sensi, and then she came back to St. Alphonsus. So I would talk to her like, hey, I've heard great things about Sensi. And she's like, oh my God, it's a great place. Like, I only came back for this reason and this reason, but you would be great there. And they have an opening because I left.
Oh, yeah. So you got her job.
Yeah, so we literally just swapped spots. And it's funny because she had a Sensi backpack and I had a St. Al's backpack. And I was like, should we just switch?
trade?
and we literally did.
Yeah.
So I showed up my first day at Sensi with a Sensi backpack. And they're like, where'd you get that? I'm like, Kayla, we just traded backpacks.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been there just over 5 years. Started as a recruiter and then grew into a recruiting manager that I've been in that role for about 3 years and have a small team of 2 that report to me.
So you, in between all this stuff though, like you've always been doing something else. Like I remember when I met with you, it was because I somehow, some way found, was it Upwork that you were doing resumes on? I saw that, which like I was sitting there going, this is great because he's a recruiter. So he knows what people want to see on a resume. So
Yeah.
I hit him up and then we went and had a beer and then you were telling me you were doing that and you were door dashing and you're doing all this stuff just to pay off your student loans on top of starting Night Birdies, right?
Exactly, yeah. I was actually thinking about this when I was driving here. I'm like, what stuff have I done? So during that time when I met you, like you said, I was bartending at Albertsons, serving tables, door dashing, donating plasma, mowing 3 of my neighbors' yards. And also my wife was doing the same thing. She was opening a gym 2 days a week in the morning at 5 in the morning, door dashing, donating plasma. And I mean, we're blessed to say we paid off $80,000 in student debt.
Is that why you were doing it? Like it was all to pay off the student loans. It was like, just like, hey, let's get this paid off as fast as we can.
Yes, it was. I mean, we got married and then we would make the minimum payments and pay what we could. And then we started thinking about a family. It's like, well, I don't want to bring a kid into this world if I'm paying debt. So we're like, well, let's get serious about paying off our student loans. There's a lot of different ways to make money. And we just found what worked for us, what worked for our schedule. We probably didn't see each other a whole lot for 2 years. We know we didn't have vacations. The vacations we did take were like friends' weddings. But it was so worth it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, you guys didn't get married too long ago, right? Has it been 3 years?
Yep, this is going to be our 3rd anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022. So,
I remember that like it was 22 years ago.
Yeah, so always kind of doing something, try to make more money on Upwork, doing resumes. And then 2021 started Night Birdies with a good friend of mine, my business partner. Known him for probably 11 years. And, I don't know if COVID was the best time to start a business. But but it gave us more time to talk. And I was trying to remember, I'm like, did we use our stipend checks to get this business started? We probably did.
Yeah.
And when we started, I mean, I think we were still in student loan debt. So I'm like, what?
Well, it's crazy too, because like you're talking about the student loans and I'm just thinking about the time when you were doing all this stuff. Like it was just right after COVID. And to be honest, I haven't had made a payment on my student loans since COVID. Like I haven't had to. They've told me don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're still paying the whole time when COVID is going on. And even though you don't have to, just to get it out, like I'm stupid because I should just start paying on it. But you know what I mean? It's crazy to think that you work so hard to get that paid off. And
yeah. And I think our mindset was like, don't rely on the government. It'd be great if Biden did forgive
Right.
student loans. I mean, I would have been all for that.
Yeah. I
Obviously,
mean,
it's a handout.
what are you going to do? You're
Yeah.
not going to say, no, take my money.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like if they give you your money, like I understand people having the animosity about like not wanting to give that money, but like if he's going to give the money away, I honestly feel like it's just stupid to not take it, because why would you not take it?
Exactly. And I think our mindset during that time was, hey, they're not accruing interest right now, and there's no minimum payment. So let's just try to pound this out, and maybe at some point they'll forgive something. But if not, let's not rely on them and
Right.
get out as fast as we can, and be, I guess, free to some extent.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy at that time too. Your wife was doing a podcast, and I actually got a chance to go on that. And I was like, this is like, she reached out to me. I don't even know that you were connected. Like I don't think I knew that you two were dating or whatever. And I think maybe you might've said, hey,
I think I might have made that recommendation. Like, hey, you should reach out to Wes.
yeah. And it was, I don't know, like that was when I was pretty young into this podcasting thing. It was pretty cool to be able to get on another one and actually talk to some people. But yeah, she was an awesome interviewer. It's, she just got busy, and it's sad to see her not do it anymore, because I think she did a great job.
Yeah, I think it's always in the back of her mind, and she met some great people, like you said, from all walks of life, all different industries that she's still connected with via social media.
Yeah.
No longer has the podcasting equipment.
We found that out last week or the week before.
Yeah. But she started to become, the reason for it was a passion project.
Uh-huh.
She wanted to know kind of what people have persevered through.
Right.
To get through their life. It was called Positive Perspective. So bad things happen to people all the time. What was the positive thing that you gain from that experience or your life? And then, the editing.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't edit anything.
Okay. Well, we didn't.
This is why we're doing it live.
We didn't get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It is though. That's why I've tried to streamline it so I don't have to.
Yep.
Like I've done so many different things that like, like if this doesn't go right, I'll just tell you to come back and we'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But like the editing portion of it, like I love the fact that we're live, because it's an authentic conversation.
Yeah.
Then I just don't have the time to do the editing. Like
I think it's a great idea, and it takes hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't we just like pay somebody on Upwork just to send them this file and they edit it?
Yep.
But yeah, it became a job, and she never wanted it to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So, always hard to let something go, but I think it was for the best, and maybe she'll revisit in some capacity in the future.
Yep. When your kid's old enough to edit it for you, you just put her to work.
I mean, AI should be able to. Soon,
yeah.
So.
Well, it actually can. So that's one thing to think about too. My friend Jay that I do One Drink Wednesday with, all the time he uses AI to edit it first before he's pretty anal about what he does. He runs everything through like it's crazy. He used to edit my stuff for me, and he used to get so down to the nitty gritty on it. I'm just like, I'll just get it close enough. Because if it's a good conversation, people are going to listen. It's just the hard part is getting past the part of how you want it to actually sound. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely had some ideas about podcasts, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to do the editing, but hey. Maybe.
Hey, if you ever are interested in getting back in it, I'll show you how easy it is if you just kind of can let go of the
control.
Yeah. Because that's the hardest part. Like it really is. And I mean, I like I said, I've done 400 episodes, and it's just like,
that's crazy.
It is what it is. And this is the second, or well, I guess I should say the third time that I've done an in-person interview. I had one guy Keegan Nichols, who wanted to be in person, so we did it upstairs in that rental that I lived in Boise. And then my daughter and I did one sitting right there in that desk in front of us, which was kind of fun.
I think it's awesome, dude. And I think you're going to have a lot more too, especially that you have this space.
Yeah. And I've had this, I mean, like I've been here a year and a half, and it's been pretty much done, but I just, out of necessity from my previous job that I had, like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't like take a minute to do something like this, but it's very fun to do. So Night Birdies is, tell everyone a little bit about it. It's super cool thing that, I was able to sit up and watch the glow balls flying around on the golf course a couple of weeks ago, because I was too stupid to realize that you were having it at the same weekend I was going up there. But tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Night Birdies we consider ourselves an event company, and in a nutshell, we set up night golf. We're a night golf business. When you tell people that you're a night golf business, they're like, what is that? So it says it in the name. We go to a golf course. We set it up to be played at night when a golf course is not typically using their course or making money. So we come, set it up with LED lights, do all the registration, all the sign-ups through our website, do all the marketing. And the value proposition for the course is we use your course at a time where you're not using it, making money, and we still write you a check, and we still fund you for letting us use your course and your golf carts. So like I said, we started that in May of 2021. It was a crazy idea that I had. I wouldn't say it's a dream, but I do remember as a kid going cosmic bowling.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even grow up golfing. I maybe golfed twice when I was in high school. I was a tennis player. But I remember, like, man, it would be cool if people could golf at night. Like, everything's cooler at night. Everything's cooler when it glows.
Right.
So life goes on. And then probably 2015, 2016, my friend invites me to a night golf tournament. My roommate at the Mountain Home Air Force Base. And the only way to get on to that tournament is you have to know somebody in the Air Force.
Yeah.
He had, like, a friend's dad who was in the Air Force. Got us on. We went, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I think this would be huge if somebody brought it to the Valley. Years go by, COVID happens. It's something I still have in the back of my mind. My buddy and I are hanging out, like, oh, we should start a business. Like, why can't we start a business? You know, you go to certain businesses, and you're like, they own this business. They own and operate this. Or you see Shark Tank, and you're just like, these people, this is what they thought of. So we're like, you know, let's each throw $500-$600 in a bank, and what's the idea? And I was like, I've always thought about night golf. He's like, what is that? Told him what it was. He's like, sure, we'll see what happens. Give it a shot. So, you know, start thinking about names and how to build a website. Luckily, he's a software engineer by trade at Micron, so he was able to take that on. And we've each found our pockets that work best when it comes to the business. And now going into our 5th year and going to be profitable this year, which I think is good.
Yeah,
obviously
that's what you're in it for, to make money, right?
Yeah, but it's always takes longer than you think it's going to take.
Right.
Costs more than you think it's going to cost. But yeah, it's been great. We've learned a lot. We always said that when we started the business, if this ever gets in between our friendship, we'll sell it or we'll just end it. And luckily it hasn't, but I think getting into business with the right partner is definitely the most important thing. We're very similar. We both, you know, we're in a leadership position in high school athletics, quarterbacks. We kind of look at life and family time the same way. And so, yeah, it's been great. Like I said, this is going to be our biggest year. We've sold out 14 of 15 events. So
I was going to ask you how many you had, because I feel like you didn't have, like, is it grown? Like the first year you only did like one, right? One or two?
I think first year we did one or two. I want to say two with Cascade. And that was our hardest thing, is just getting a golf course to give us a chance. You know?
Right.
People know about night golf. Sometimes there was some bad connotation, like, you know, it's too dangerous at night. People drink too much.
Right.
It's like people drink just as much during the day.
Yeah.
And your course insurance covers nighttime too. So
yeah.
Luckily Cascade gave us an opportunity. And then, I mean, this year we're doing, I want to say 9 or 10 events at 6 different golf courses. And we've been invited to a dude ranch in Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Called Sylvie's here in a few weeks. So, yeah, just learning as we go. I think the biggest thing is just, you know, taking action. Ideas are free and ideas are easy.
That's the scary part, right? Like the scariest thing about the whole situation, like even with this starting Shade Bros, it was like, what are we going to do? Like, we have this income that's automatically coming in, and it's something that we really think about all the time, but you're always afraid to take that step because it takes you out of your comfort zone, you know? And I think that's the biggest challenge, is being uncomfortable for a minute, because if you're uncomfortable, then you're challenging yourself to do more.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Luckily for us, we were still able to keep our full-time jobs that have, a consistent salary.
Mm-hmm.
But that just means that a lot of our time's taken up in the evenings, a lot of our time's taken up on the weekends. And what we're kind of dealing with right now is we're working in the business instead of on the business.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely need to make that transition and that mindset to, hire some people, have some processes, have some systems in place.
Right.
Which the goals we had for this year, we've already exceeded.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were going to wait till next year was the plan to do that, but I think it's going to happen quicker than what we had planned, which is great. It's a great problem to have, and I've said that when we get busy and we're grinding and we're tired at 2 a.m. when we're picking up a golf course or we're driving back from a golf course, and it's like, God, tomorrow's going to suck.
Yep.
It's like, this is what we wished for.
Right. What's funny is you think it sucks, but it sucks in a different way, right? Because like I sit there and I think about every day I wake up and I'm going to work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like this benefits me. It doesn't benefit someone else. So like you're going to work every day and you're working for the man, like, and that's the hard part, but like it is the rewarding portion of that whole thing is when you wake up in the morning, everything that you did was yours.
Exactly. And I think what I found the most rewarding is building something that other people enjoy.
Yeah.
Just the feedback, good or bad, but good means more.
Mm-hmm.
People are experiencing night golf for the first time, and there's nobody else in Idaho that's doing night golf. I don't think there's anybody else in the Pacific Northwest that are doing night golf.
Yeah.
Golf courses may set it up themselves, but I personally think we have the best lights, and we also have the best golf balls, and we have the best setup.
What do you do with those golf? Like I feel like they just don't get lost. Is that like?
They're a lot harder to lose than during the day.
I guess in the water you can't really get them
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
water.
Which is funny because people are always like, man, I would lose so many golf balls at night. And it's like, you hit this thing into the wood or to a bush, like it lights up the whole bush.
Yeah.
You won't lose it. The only way you lose it is if the timer goes off, which our golf balls have 30-minute timers.
Oh.
So when you hit it, you have 30 minutes. Let's say you hit it at 29 minutes and it's in the air, or you're going to search for it and it goes off. I mean, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
Other than we line up the fairways and greens and tee boxes. The flag stick is an LED. And, that's unfortunate if the timing's off, but we give everybody 2 golf balls at least. And
yeah, I mean, if you can't find your ball in 30 minutes, you got a problem.
Exactly. And we always say, like, they do come from China. So if maybe 1 or 2 don't work, maybe you got a dud.
Yeah.
Everybody has our business card before they tee off. Give us a call, tell us what hole you're on, and we'll bring you another.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So are you doing a bunch? You did the last one you did was at Meadow Creek in New Meadows, which is a couple hours from here. Where is the next one at?
In 2 weeks, we go to Seneca, Oregon, to Sylvie's Valley Ranch.
Okay, so that's the Dude Ranch.
That's the Dude Ranch. We're back-to-back nights there, and that was something that was like a place that was on my wish list of like goals to get to. And the funny thing about that is they reached out to us. They saw us on social media.
That's awesome.
Like, dude, this is crazy.
Yep.
I've always wanted to go to this place. And then turns out they're paying for us to go. They're also going to, all the money that we make for the golf tournament comes to us. And you're like, this is just greater than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
And my friends are going. They're like, bring your friends, bring your wives, bring your kids. And so that's in 2 weeks, back-to-back nights. In 3 weeks, we go to Baker City, Oregon.
Oh, geez.
For the first one.
Hopefully there's no snow there.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I went to Ontario High School, and that's where I played football. And playing in Baker, the worst. The worst. I don't know if you ever played there, but it is the worst. It's like the football stadium is in a hole. And then I used to call it Little Siberia. I still like have flashbacks to when I was sitting on the sidelines. You got your bag that you carry all your gear in, turns into a coat wrapped around you, and you're freezing on the sidelines, and then you can't get your hands warm. And then if you're an offensive lineman and you're trying to block some dude, those plastic pads in your frozen hands. Hate you, Baker City. Hate you.
Haven't spent much time in Baker City, and we won't be spending the night, so we'll be turning around, turn and burn. After Baker City, we go to Cascade for July 5th. And then we just did Pierce Park for the first time, which is a par 3 course in Boise.
Yeah.
First Tee of Idaho just bought that, and I had a good relationship with somebody who works for First Tee. So we did that probably about a month ago, end of May. And yesterday they reached out. They're like, hey, we would love to do this every weekend, but it probably doesn't work with your schedule.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It does if you hire a few people to run that one.
Exactly. So they're like, can we do it monthly? And we're like, yeah, we could probably do it monthly. So we got 2 more events with them this year, and then Tamarack just for their members. But
Oh, nice.
what we've learned is the hardest step is getting your foot in the door. And then once people, the head pro or the golf course GM, once they trust you and kind of see the service you provide, they see the fun that their guests are having or their members are having, and they're like, we don't do anything and we make money. The call always comes next, you know, hey, can you guys come back? How does next year look? Can we get on the schedule for next year? And it's like,
right.
We love that.
Yeah.
So, but just building those relationships at first, getting our foot in the door. Some golf courses are all about it. Some have more, I guess, red tape, you would say. They may have neighbors.
They'll be about it. I mean, it's funny. It's interesting listening to my parents talk about Meadow Creek because they, like my parents have, it's pretty annoying. The course is awesome, but it's like pretty annoying for them because they're trying to keep the golf course running, and like they basically charge the HOA. They keep raising the price on the HOA to make sure that, because the community owns the golf course.
Oh.
Which it's a beautiful golf course.
Amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah. So my parents unfortunately own 2 lots. They bought when they bought their house, there was a lot next to it. And it used to be that you could pay 1 HOA fee for both lots, but now they have to pay for both of them. And it just keeps going up to cover the golf course. So it's kind of crazy.
What year did they buy that?
Oh, they've been up there probably 5 years maybe.
Are you going to build one right next to them?
Oh, no. Nope. I am not like, I mean, you know how you were, so the other day we had the snake on the back porch and you're like, I'm surprised that you were scared of that because
oh, dude, I hate snakes.
You're from Parma.
Oh, I've killed plenty of snakes in my yard and chop them up with a shovel and bury them, throw them in the trash. I just can't do snakes.
At first I was thinking, man, I'm going to do that. But then I couldn't do it. Like, I'm like, this guy's going to eat these freaking bulls that are in my lawn.
Yeah.
So I go and I pick him up with a what did I have, like a fire poker or something, and I took him and I tossed him. And
what kind of snake was that?
It was just a garden snake.
That looked like a big garden snake.
It was a big one, dude. It was big. And like, I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was sitting there and like, I picked it up, and when I went to toss it, it kind of stayed on the thing, and I screamed like a girl. I was like, no, I don't want, and my son's out there, he's 3, and he's like, get it, Dad. And I'm like, forget this. And I pick it up and I toss it again. And then I left the poker thing out there because I wasn't going to go near the damn thing. And we go inside. 5 minutes later, my son comes up. He's like, hey, Dad, there's another snake out there. The stupid thing came all the way across the back lawn and came back to the freaking concrete. I'm like,
just a sunbathe on the concrete?
yeah, I don't know what he wanted.
That's the biggest garden snake I've ever seen.
Yeah, I took him and I chucked him over there and he didn't come back. But like this time I was like, here, now you're in the rocks. You're not coming over here. Ugh.
Yeah, hey, pros and cons living out in the sticks.
Yeah, I know.
No neighbors, but snakes.
Snakes. Like,
Bigger.
my wife's like, the moment that I see one of those in the house, I'm done. We're moving. And I'm like, it's nuts. But
dude, I think everybody has that fear for some reason. At least I do. Like opening the toilet.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, where does that fear come from?
Oh, dude.
Was that a movie or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But like, I work on construction sites a lot of times, and you're using an outhouse, and that's like one of the fears. Like, it's like all the time. You're like, oh my gosh, what is gonna come out of this thing?
You know what? I actually have a friend who they were at Lucky Peak. I'm pretty sure they were on a camping trip or a boating trip or something, and she went to use the outhouse, and she's like, no joke, there was a snake in the.
Oh.
I don't think it was in the toilet, but it was in the bathroom.
the area.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
No thanks. No, I don't do snakes, dude.
I'll pass. That's our snake story for the night. So Rance, I just wanted to say thanks for coming and hanging out, doing the first in-studio interview, and tell people, I don't know if all your events are sold out, but tell people where they can find you, if they can follow. I know they can follow Night Birdies and yourself and all that. So tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. www.nightbirdies.com. our nearest events are sold out. The Baker City, I think there's a few openings in Cascade. But yeah, the sooner the better. Like I said, we've sold out all of our events since starting the company. And the one reason we didn't sell out is the date was really bad for us. We had a rodeo in town that day. It was smoky, and it was in September, so everybody was already back to school. So, you learn a lot.
Yep.
You learn a lot. So, yeah, please follow us and check us out. Love to see you guys on the golf course.
Yep. I got no doubt that you will have more events than you can handle soon. So
I hope so.
Yep. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you being here for this first in-person interview for Shaping Success, Treasure Valley. If you're interested in a business that you want to hop on and tell us a little bit about yourself, please shoot me an Instagram message or an email, wes@westankersley.com. Love to get you on the show and talk about what you're doing. So till next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success. And we'll see if I can hit this button. Boom.